Welcome to another episode of Tzuzamen. Hi, Tzipi.
Hi, Tzili. I don't know if he knows what is tzuzamen. He might be too young even to never heard of it. It's together.
Everyone.
It's together.
Togetherness.
Togetherness. And what we do every week, we meet people who inspire us. And we were thinking, who can really inspire us? And we chose you. Who is it?
Hi, Benjamin Friedenberg. Benjamin or Benjamin? How do you want us to call you?
Benny.
No.
Both are
Okay.
fine. I'm a descent to an American mom. So
All right.
Ah.
So anyway.
Benjamin is fine by me.
Right.
And I'm
So
to a Polish mom. American mom, wow. That's really a privilege.
Yeah. Benjamin graduated Sam Spiegel, the wonderful film school.
One of the best in the world, actually.
And now he's running their East Jerusalem.
That's amazing. Amazing.
School. Benjamin, tell us a little bit about Sam Spiegel, and then go to the east part of Jerusalem, because Sam Spiegel is based in West Jerusalem.
But wait a minute, did you tell everything about him? Who
no,
is
but
he?
we will talk about it.
You don't want to tell him?
I'll present myself.
Yes, please do.
It's fine, briefly. Thank you so much for having me. It's an honor to be here. And thank you for putting this spotlight on Sam Spiegel and what we do here. Sam Spiegel Film School was founded by Renan Shor and many others in the film industry in 1989. So it's now over 30 years that the school is running with hundreds of graduates of many of the industry's directors, producers, editors, cinematographers, screenwriters, and many others. And
many
the school is considered really one of the best in the world, and it was chosen
after NYU.
Yeah, I mean, after many in the States, after
after
many
NYU,
film schools in the States, it was chosen to be one of the best film schools outside the US, among the best 15 schools.
You know, so, by the way, that just before the Corona, we were in the middle of putting together an event in the MoMA for Sam Spiegel, and we had to cancel it. Yes, and I hope it will come again. Yeah.
Yes, we hope so too. It's such an amazing initiative.
What's so special about Sam Spiegel in terms of philosophy of the vision of education, film education?
It's a school that put on, like, in focus the story narrative and in the short film form as an expression, and it's contributed a lot to the genre in Israel and to the genre in the world. And it's all about bringing your personal story to the screen, not in the narcissistic sense, but in the most vulnerable, exposed sense. So it's a school that really challenges the young filmmakers and the students to bring their own culture to the screen, their own family story, biography story, their own heritage to the screen, and nothing is on the periphery in terms of narrative. On the contrary, it's a school that brings to the screen many different narratives, and in a very in freely artistic environment that really helps the students to bring their own
voice,
story, heart, and culture to the screen.
So, for many years, I don't know if you know, but I'm a professor at NYU at Tisch in the film school. And for many years, I must say that I was dreaming, and I think even I tried to get a relationship between NYU and Bir Z. And I even offered, but I couldn't do it by myself. to actually give this free, I don't know, screenwriting, whatever, at American colony or something like this. So I will not go inside. So now that, what is it? I didn't know, but I'm so thrilled that you are talking about the connection between Sam Spiegel and East Jerusalem. Tell us about it.
But tell us first, because people don't know that Sam Spiegel is based in Jerusalem,
Yes.
in the west part of the city, and they have also Arab students. And
All universities in Israel.
The wish to have more and more film education for the Arab community basically brought them to build a school for the east part of Jerusalem, and Benjamin is running it. So tell us a little bit about your section.
So Sam Spiegel Film School is based in, as you said, in West Jerusalem, and anyone can apply, but of course the school is taught in Hebrew. The courses are taught in Hebrew, and for more than 30 years, there wasn't really a change in welcoming Palestinian students or Arabic-speaking students to the school. And I graduated the school almost 15 years ago, and I started lecturing and opening film clubs in the old city of Jerusalem, in Palestinian cities. I was hired by international organizations to create bridges between either Israelis and Palestinians, or to channel Israeli cinema or Palestinian cinema to Palestinian audiences. So I got to know a lot of Palestinian filmmakers and scholars along the way. And since I was working for an international organization, these connections were able to happen in this very complex turmoil of the last 15 years here, where Palestinian film industry and Israeli film industry are not really in touch and don't work together. So in recent years, when the new director of Sam Spiegel, Dana Blankstein Cohen, started her term as the head of the school, we joined forces together, and we had this joint vision that we both believed in, that the school should welcome Palestinian students and create more welcoming environment for them.
You mean Israeli Palestinians, or you mean Palestinians from the West Bank?
We mean first and foremost East Jerusalem Palestinians, who some of them are Israeli citizens and some aren't. Just briefly saying, East Jerusalem is one of the only places in the world where you have parts of the city that are either stateless people who have no status in either country. This region of East Jerusalem was once Jordanian, and now where borders are even less clearer or are changing in time due to different Israeli governments, a lot of people's fate and opportunities are being either crushed or being changed. And as a school, as cultural leaders, and as an academic institute, we feel responsibility, first of all, for young people and cultural people of East Jerusalem, and to bring more opportunities to them. And we thought this program in East Jerusalem will be helpful and for a start.
So
to welcome Palestinian students.
But Benjamin, the students that come because, you know, there's a problem in crossing and arriving, are they all from the East Jerusalem or from the rest of the West Bank?
No, right now we have students only from East Jerusalem, but also from the periphery of Jerusalem, villages and also refugee camps around.
I'm very glad to hear it because I knew kids from Ramallah who used to cross the border illegally to come to the Jerusalem Film Festival.
Yeah.
They were so eager and so,
Right.
there's such a passion. But I want to tell you something. Can Jews join the school in East Jerusalem?
This is not a school, it's a pre-college program for Palestinians.
Oh.
And it's a program in
recognized?
which, excuse me?
It
Is
is
it
recognized
recognized?
for like Hebrew.
It's part of the Sam Spiegel School. It's not a separate program.
But
It's a
Sam
pre-college
Spiegel is not like a
program of
college?
Sam Spiegel.
Sam Spiegel is not like a college?
It's like a college, yeah, but it's pre-college program. It's
But
not
they
to
give them
replace.
special services. But
It's not
Benjamin,
to replace the school, but to give like a preparatory program for the students to join eventually
Right.
the Sam Spiegel School.
the Arab students that come to Sam Spiegel on the west side of the city, are they Israeli Arabs or are they Palestinian?
Yes,
Oh, okay.
mostly are Israeli citizens who are Palestinians who live in the north, mostly, either in Haifa or northern than that.
Right.
And the Sam Spiegel in East Jerusalem is taught in Arabic or English?
Film courses are
Hebrew.
taught in Arabic, and we have language courses of Hebrew and English that are taught in these languages.
Do you
Fantastic.
speak Arabic?
Yes.
Wow.
Did you learn for that or you just do?
I always liked languages, and I'm a big fan of any language to study. I had my bachelor's and master's in linguistics after graduating from Sam Spiegel, and my research is about film language. So I had my Arabic taught courses at the university, but also by knowing filmmakers and being in touch with Palestinian filmmakers the last decade.
You know, this is really fascinating, and I would like a little bit, if it's possible, that you will talk with us about linguistic and film language. By the way, because I'm teaching film language at NYU, and my dissertation, because of my dissertation, it's about Andre Bazin and the implication of his theory into film criticism. I came close to really trying to understand how a language of film in terms of how cinematic elements enhance each dramatic moment. So when I read that you are combining linguistic and language of film, I'm really intrigued if you can talk a little bit about it.
Thank you. I'm Tzipi, you're a role model for me to be also like a filmmaker and a scholar of film language. So I'm glad for this opportunity. When I attended Sam Spiegel, which is known for its vocational practice and experience, I didn't take for granted that the camera is going from one place to another and expressing different expressions, even that are not related to the script or to the dialogue. The fact that the camera is channeling information to us viewers and is a tool for us filmmakers to create time, space, and narrative. I was fascinated by this phenomena. So I knew that there's a field in film studies that is film language, and it was important for me to study linguistics because I understood that linguistic tools from the research of language are borrowed to explain film and to
Oh, really?
speak about film in terms of syntax and pragmatics. So
Can you explain a little bit?
yeah.
Give me
Every
examples.
every filmmaker is constructing a structure of shots, and each shot is different. It could be a long shot, it could be a dolly shot, a movement shot, it could be just an establishing shot. And if we change the structure, if we change the order of shots, we can have a different meaning. And even if the actors or the text didn't say anything yet to us.
Wait a minute,
So
are we blue? Are we blue?
Yeah, right now you are.
I don't know, but I look like a monster.
This is film language also.
Look, look what it does in terms of how we are perceived and what we project. Just changing the, you know, the light and the color, or using filters.
Exactly.
Some people build a career on this color. Yeah.
Right. But we'll go on now.
So,
we cannot do much.
yeah. So this is like in a nutshell the idea of structure, meaning, and information that is not literal, that is passing to the viewers during filming and cinematography.
But you're not talking about a structure in terms of the plot. You're talking about the structure in terms of a type of shots and the juxtaposition.
Visual, exactly. Visual structure. And when I studied linguistics, I was enthralled by visual languages that are ancient, let's say hieroglyphics or Maya, and Asian script. This was the cinema of ancient times. I mean, the fact that people communicated with each other through images and not through text. This was before the text, the ABC text, the script that we have now. So cinema really and cinematography resonate with human culture in history, because we tend to forget that human culture started by communicating in images, not with the text. I will give an example. We know that let's say in film, we know about the dolly shot. This shot that is a camera movement on a based on a wagon or a gimbal.
Towards or away from the character. Towards or back.
Yeah. Or a tracking shot, and this shot is creating a lot of meanings along history, whether it's time change or space change, or moving from one time lane to another, and it's really fascinating to see how in ancient times they had different images to indicate time change, and they mixed the close-up and the long shot and a lot of different images together to state that we are now moving from the present to the past, or from the present to the future. So the idea that we have in our minds, this cognitive system that is really here with us from the beginning of human culture, and film just manifests what we have here in our minds to create, to communicate in images. This is really
it's fascinating.
It's really fascinating, and I really cannot stop thinking about it, researching it, and of course.
Do you also try to understand how subtext for example, work visually in films or subtext in images in ancient time or today, or
Exactly. Thank you for bringing this up. Let's say we have a lot of moments, dramatic moments in films where the characters state something really dramatic. Let's say a character tells her partner she's pregnant, or a person notifies another person about really an important message. Usually in these moments, the camera states the subtext of these moments,
the visual
where
side.
the text, and it's visually channels to us as spectators of the film, that we understand the subtext, the mode, the emotion that the characters are putting into this this moment, above, like beneath the text.
Yes.
How
Beneath
old
the
are the
text.
students? What age?
The students in our program are between 20 and 31.
Wow. Nice.
And
They're not kids
They're
anymore.
not kids anymore.
And the
No.
teachers
Palestinian
are,
kids are not kids since
No,
they're
no,
10
no.
years old.
we know, but it's not like really teenagers. These are big guys. And the teachers are mostly Palestinians or Israelis?
So we have Palestinian filmmakers for the film courses that are taught in Arabic, and we have Israeli teachers for the Hebrew.
And how do you monitor or supervise or support subjects that are basically against the occupation, or that are very sensitive, and you want them to be able to express themselves, but you have to be careful in the way it's being done? Who is monitoring it?
First of all, I'm not monitoring.
No, I'm not saying monitoring in a bad way. I'm saying,
Yeah,
supporting or following or whatever.
First of all, we believe in free speech and artistic
okay,
freedom.
but beyond
But I have to say that I was very not surprised, because I know the field, but many of our students, if not all of them, are not into the politics as we know it in films. They are longing to have their own everyday life stories that never get to the screen. Usually, we usually see on screen the politics and what.
But it's not really politics. It's their everyday life.
It's perceived by the government. They're supported by the government. You know, the school.
In the context
everything is and everything is politics.
Everything is politics. But what I'm saying is,
but guys, they're born into the occupation. They live through the occupation. Their everyday life is under the occupation.
But we told you they want just to tell their personal stories.
Therefore, the occupation will be.
Some want to say other things. So when I say monitor, it's not in a bad way. It's just, how do you handle it in a sensitive way that they can express what they feel without causing any trouble for you, for the school, and how do you communicate between both sides, East and West?
First of all, the Sam Spiegel School is for free speech and artistic freedom, not only now, but for the last 33 years, and never stopped in bringing to the screen stories and films that encompass every aspect of life in this region. What we do here is helping the students express themselves and bringing their own stories, whether the occupation is there in their life and in their stories, and whether it's not there.
You know, Tzili, we know that the last few years, and we are talking about it a lot, because my film was out now, and I was not supposed to say.
Congratulations.
Yeah, it is 50 that it was
The
screened.
55th year.
Yeah, it was screened last weekend for the 55th year. They said for the 6-day war, and I wanted to say no, it's
For the
for the occupation, and I was not supposed to say the occupation. But generally, I think that also Tzili commented on it in previous conversation. There are less and less Israeli films who deals with the conflict. Less and less, and it's almost a feeling that we say people don't want to see films about the conflict. They don't want to talk about the occupation. It's not in the conversation. So it's not, and what she asked you, which is a bit surprising, and I'm surprised that it's not really fully exploded in a way in East Jerusalem in your school.
It is present in the life of all our students, but what they seek to tell mostly is about their own personal life stories, and we can see what's in the background and what's in the foreground for them.
Yes, I understand.
And it's I don't want to put everyone in the same box. We have so many different stories and students here, so I'm really excited to see their films and their stories brought to the screen in the future. So I'm looking forward to that.
Do you make joint projects between East and West?
Yet maybe.
How old is the school?
The pre-college program is eventually about bringing these students to the Sam Spiegel School. Okay. To start their full track program there. So the joint program is or the inclusivity of them is really expected there, and we are making the environment welcome and
so
welcome
how much
them.
time they spend with you? How many years?
No, they spend 7 months in the program.
Oh, that's it?
Yes, 7 months.
Just a preparation. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a preparatory program for the students before they.
That's amazing, because most Israeli high school now has a film program, high school, but I'm not sure if they had any preparation. That's amazing. But tell me something else. Maybe I will ask the second question first. So when you talk about linguistic and film language, right? Do you also refer to comparison of music to film language, like in terms of counterpoint, harmony, theme, pose, all this?
Exactly. I mean, using also music, and also not in the film, but also borrowing the tools from the research of music, of the arts, history of the arts, of painting, to analyzing the frame, the cinematic information and image, but also in soundtrack and what we do there. So it's really a complex field of research, and that really combines the audio-visual message structure and information.
Yeah,
so,
but tell me something. But since since of course everybody knows that film is a combination of all the arts. So are you including in Sam Spiegel, the main school? Do you include any courses in art, like some background that they will have some tools in music so they can think about music and talk to musicians, or about paintings that they can compose and do a mise en scène that is rich and goes with the moment, or a sculpture, or a theater?
Absolutely.
Literature?
Absolutely. We believe that the students that we raise in the school and educate in the school are artists to be and cultural people to be, not just filmmakers, of film directors or crew people. For us, it's really important to enrich and educate them in any form of the arts. We have courses in history of the art. We have visits to museums and galleries, and of course meetings with artists and workshops that are not necessarily film-based, but art as a whole. And that's really important for us, because there's no film art without the other arts involved.
Right. So tell me something. Do you talk to your students? It goes a little bit to what Tzili was asking. Do they understand the power of filmmaking? Do they understand that their voice, if it's come out in a responsible way after they revisit or have doubts about what they think, and come not with preconceived ideas and really come intrigued with an intent they want to understand, and that they do they believe that they can change society through their films?
Well, certainly the students have the notion of how film is a voice. Film can be not just an image that is 1,000 words storytelling, but it's a field that really can open a lot of opportunities in storytelling and voicing one story. So they come with this notion, and they really want to express themselves. And I think what happens what happened in the last half a year is that they really got to know how far can one go with the film, and how far can the story go. So this is really something that they have the notion, but I think it really magnifies itself and along the way.
In reality, what are the chances that they can execute and make the films?
You speak about self-censorship, or is this
I speak about the opportunity and budget, and practically if they can really come out of the school, stay where they are, and do it.
We make sure that when they leave the pre-college program, they are prepared and are ready to execute their films and becoming the film students at Sam Spiegel. We have here a supporting system that even under privileged students, and we have them here, students that didn't have the opportunities to visit museums, or to have a camera at home, or to get to know artists and films that as they wish that they could have. This is what we do here, and we equalize the opportunities and the skills, and shepherd the knowledge and the talent that we have here, and we really believe in their talent and their stories.
How many are they? How many do you have in East Jerusalem? In the East Jerusalem.
We have 10 students. And this is the first year that we
How many boys? How many girls?
We have 6 boys and 4 girls.
Nice. I wanted to ask you what the percentage, but do you encourage both schools to also move from fiction to documentaries? Both as a stop, do you have documentaries in Sam Spiegel?
Yeah, of course. And I know Sam Spiegel in its first years, Sam Spiegel was known for its fiction films.
Right.
But there was a huge change in the last 20 years, not moving from, but really nurturing the documentary filmmaking in the school. So we have it here as the experience of the pre-college and of course in the school where it's really now documentaries are really being celebrated around the world, and we're really proud of the documentaries being made in Sam Spiegel.
Tell me something. Do you encourage them or give them the tools to learn how to do a low budget film? Like, for example, they can write a script which may cost, when you analyze a script, can cost 700,000, 800,000, and then rewrite it for 200,000 or 300,000. And then can you put a production for how to do a low budget film? We have,
We have in Sam Spiegel courses of low budget films, how to execute such a film, or how to approach the script, and also that's one thing. But the other thing is the priorities, and I think what the school's priority is, and also here in the pre-college program, is that the story. I mean, the core of the story is. And the depth of it is more important than exploding the budget on screen, and we don't underestimate production value at all, but what's really important is the value of content and the originality of the story. That's more important.
Will you accept students from the Arab world that would like to come to Sam Spiegel in East Jerusalem?
Thank you for bringing this up. We were very surprised, and we had really interesting conversations with prospective students from other countries, to come and participate in the program, and we were very happy to receive so many different applicants. As for today, I mean, it's really complicated to have someone from these countries, but we're going to make whatever we can, if it's possible, for this person to come from abroad. Of course, we would love to welcome students from abroad for this kind of program.
Well, we need to explain that in order to bring a student from a country that we have no relations, or the relations are limited, you have to have permission from the government in Israel.
But now we have Dubai and all those.
Right, but I'm talking about all of them because I know a little bit because of the center that I have in the Green Village, and we have international community, and we have kids from Arab countries, and it's not always easy. And from some areas where the school is not allowed to bring kids in. But it's interesting because you do the preparation and then you move inside, to Israel, to the other side. But I think it can be really wonderful way to collaborate and to bridge and work together towards joint projects under the radar of the politicians, just to have a life together, which we always had. So that's why I'm curious to see if they have, if they're curious to come to study because I'm sure they want to be in a good school, and this is a great school.
Do you see a change? Okay, go. Sorry.
No, I just want to say really briefly that education and jobs are two channels and opportunities that in Palestinian society are not condemned or are really embraced, where there's opportunity, therefore people go for it, and when there's a good school and a good opportunity, this is where things work. So as a school, we feel not only that it is successful and will continue to be successful, but we also feel that we have the responsibility of creating such an opportunity.
Right. Tell me something, as we know in the last year or so, of course also before, but especially, there was a lot of tension between Arab and Israel, Jewish. Did you feel anything in Sam Spiegel in the West, you know, when you have a mixture of Arab and Jews? Did you feel any conflicts or clashes or animosity, or it was by the school put on the table and open up in a way that diffused violence?
First of all, as a Jerusalemite, I feel the tension anytime it's rising. Yeah, so we're not strangers to this, but I'm mostly working in East Jerusalem, so I would like to say that, first of all, in the school in the West, nothing is under the table or hidden or not spoken. This is an art school, and this is our job to tell stories and to be truthful with what's happening and create a discussion with what we have as a tool, the films that we create. What happened
In East Jerusalem.
What happened in the East Jerusalem is that we feel it all the time, and also we have really interesting and very crucial discussions with the students here while things are happening. And it's, I think, the encounter with the students have with the staff that is partially Palestinian and partially Israeli, or Israeli Palestinian, or Jewish Israeli. We are very different people, and some of the students, when they met me, I was the first Jewish Israeli who wasn't an authority person, who wasn't a policeman, or another person.
Wow.
So the encounter with me or people like me was very important to discuss things and bringing up everything that is not spoken, or
build a safe environment so they can really bring up their own thing. You know, they need to trust you, and building trust under these conditions takes time. And then move to the west part of Jerusalem, which is harder for them emotionally, and discuss it with people that don't deal with this every day, and still trust them to judge it right and work well together. It's a long process that affects all the outcome, you know, in terms of stories, filming, movies. Absolutely.
Tell me, do you feel threatened? Do you feel threatened? Are you afraid a little bit to go to East Jerusalem?
Never. I'm working in this. I'm living in Jerusalem for more than 20 years. My family is in Jerusalem since 1840.
Wow.
My grandfather.
You are Mayflower.
My grandfather used to work with Palestinians pre-state of Israel. I mean, I'm not afraid of people, and period. It's really important to always believe in people and the future of this place, and the future of film, and how film and culture are vehicles to create this kind of
so who do you afraid more to
dialogue.
go in? Are you afraid more to go in Mea Shearim or in East Jerusalem?
Mea Shearim is the old
I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid, period. I'm very concerned about this place, and I'm more worried than afraid.
Yes.
But Benjamin, are you concerned about you know, the shaky situation in Israel politically, and the right wing is rising, the hatred towards Palestinians is rising? Are you worried that they won't let you continue, or they'll block your ways?
Because you are already an island of sanity in Jerusalem.
I don't think so. First of all, for me, I'm you know, I'm pessimistic in a way that I don't feel that reality will change immensely in the next few years, or there going to be a huge political change here, um, um, for the either um, for the left, or there's going to be like
Right, you're wrong.
a peace agreement or anything like this soon. What I'm focused on is creating communities that are working in light of what's happening, but focusing on how to bring new opportunities for people. And I'm not concerned of closing this
Door.
this really good program, and I think it really helps both sides, or both people.
Right.
We are also creating change in Sam Spiegel, and letting the students know about the situation, and letting them be more aware of what's happening. And we feel that's our work. I mean, investing time and being worried or concerned about which government is going to be good for us or bad for us, it's never constructive, because there are so many other factors involved,
Right.
and
It's
a lot of
never
changes now in
constructive,
East Jerusalem.
but things are really worrying. I mean, with everything that is going on, and of course, you'll do everything that you can to keep it, but
Yeah, but you know, Tzili,
we don't know.
what's important is you and me and him and some good people really believe in the power of filmmaking, the power of storytelling. And I think that it was really very enlightening. I'm very inspired by what you do. And
Thank you.
yeah, and we should thank him so much for coming, because people don't know about, you know, Sam Spiegel and East Jerusalem. And I'm actually going to write to you, and I think that you should start a collaboration with a place like NYU. Yes,
it's a quite
so Tzili,
yeah,
that was really inspiring.
Yeah.
I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did.
I totally, and likewise, and thank you so much for having me. I just want to say, just to end it, that the reliance on government is not the future of it, but the reliance of people.
Right.
And people like
we
you
agree.
are
We all
interested.
do the same,
You know,
So,
but you know, it's there, and we have to be aware,
Totally.
and we have to find ways in spite of.
Right.
So, and that's why we do what we do. But it's, you cannot ignore it. And,
well, yeah,
and we just need to be strong in order to fight it, and raise more and more and more young people to join us, and keep doing whatever they do in their field. That's all.
Okay, Benjamin, thank you so much.
Thank you
Have
so
a nice
much.
day.
Thank you for having me.
Keep pushing.
And good luck.
Thank you so much for coming.
Many
Great.
thanks.
Yes.
Thank you, and thank
Bye.
you, Tzipi.
Oh,
Thank
thank
you,
you,
everybody.
Tzili.
See
Thank
you
you,
next
everybody.
week.
And see you next week.
Not from Avatar, hopefully. Just
No.
yeah.
No way. Okay.
Bye.